عبر الفترة الماضية، وأكرر مرة أخرى التعازي في ضحايا
Once again, my condolences to the victims of the devastation.
رحمة للمفقودين والشفاء العاجل للمصابين.
May Allah rest their souls in peace, and I would like to thank you very much for your concern. And during my visit and to review the sites of the earthquakes, for your good hospitality, and thank you for that. And this is what we expect in the framework of a very solid historical relations between the peoples of the two countries that extended and deepened in the history that we are very much proud. And I consider such talks to be a point, a beginning point of the path to restore our relationships in different arenas, to start a new phase that of having a positive effect of the two peoples, and to lead to the more stability in the regions. We've talked throughout more than 2 hours that tackled all the issues related to the mutual relationships, bilateral relationships, the regional situation, challenges that we both face, and that were very transparent, frank, and deep in talks in light of the importance of such relationships. Certainly there is political leadership and an orientation of the two presidents when they first meet in Al-Doha and signed the two foreign ministers to launch the path of reaching a full normalizations of this following the latest developments, and we are certainly looking forward to whatever is possible to benefit the two countries in the upcoming relations, and we are fully confident that there is solid ground of what linked us of the features of relationships, as well as the cultural engagements that give us that such a path would reach as soon as possible to the aim and the goal of the two countries in the framework of restoring the impetus of such relations and their strengths. I look forward to continue engagement and coordination to His Excellency Mr. Foreign Minister, and also to open engagement and communication channels among the government apparatus, and to continue our work in order to reach to what we both look forward to in restoring such a very important relationship. So we've already talked about the steps that lead and give a momentum of such an empathy and an indicator of dealing and tackling of all issues, and realize the existence of rapprochement. And I do not say that it's such a formal, but it's serious to the end of such a path in reaching the understanding regarding all the region, as well as the timing of restoring relations on the level of the ambassadors. The diplomatic relations never were actually continued between the two countries, yet the diplomatic relations were always exist. The representative of Cairo and Ankara and vice versa and working on restoring relations on the level of the ambassadors who've already tackled in this regard. And we will get back to it in the appropriate time, based on where such a path leads us to positive results. In fact, we've found that there is a joint vision regarding several issues regarding with respect to how to launch the bilateral relations politically, economically, and to the absorber of such a vision of several issues and reaching results and outputs that interest the two countries. Once again, I would like to welcome once more His Excellency Mr. Foreign Minister, and I wish him a very good stay in Cairo, and I would like to welcome him to continue the engagement between the two countries, and I'd say something we very much appreciate and look forward. Thank you very much.
Teşekkür ederim aziz kardeşim, değerli basın mensupları. Öncelikle kardeşim Semih Shoukry'e sıcak ev sahipliği için huzurlarınızda teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Kardeşim Shoukry'nin ülkemizi ziyaretinden kısa bir süre sonra Mısır'ı ziyaret etmekten büyük bir memnuniyet duyuyorum. Bu benim aslında Mısır'a ilk gelişim. Bu da benim ayıbım tabii. Sadece Dışişleri Bakanı olarak değil, bugüne kadar hiç gelmek nasip olmamıştı. Ama bundan sonra daha sık birbirimizi ziyaret edeceğiz. En kısa süre içinde kardeşim Semih Shoukry'yi de Türkiye'de bir kere daha misafir etmekten büyük bir memnuniyet duyacağım. Özellikle deprem Türkiye'de meydana gelen asrın felaketi depremden sonra bize verdikleri destek için Mısır hükümetine ve kardeş Mısır halkına huzurlarınızda bir kere daha teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Bu zor zamanlarda gösterilen dayanışmayı, verilen desteği halkımız, bizler hiçbir zaman unutmayacağız. Ve kardeşim Semih beni ilk günde aradı depremden sonra.
أخي سيادة وزير الخارجية كان من أول من زار إلى تركيا، وبعد ذلك قام سيادة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي بتعزية رئيس الجمهورية والاتصال
The
به.
President of the Republic, and to communicate with him through the phone calls.
وأحب أن أعبر
And
عن
I'd like to
سعادة
express the Turkish happiness of the serious assistance that head to Turkey in such a disaster, in the wake of such a disaster. And of course, it came to Turkey. 4 planes were landed Turkey for the assistance, and we've had a great and happy chance to meet Mr. Foreign Minister in Antakya, and we thank you once again for what you provided. And as you said, that relationship between Egypt and Turkey are history, joint and mutual culture. Therefore, we wish to strengthen such relations, and of course, this would require an impetus of the two presidents, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and Turkish President Erdogan. And we are working on facilitate a meeting between the two presidents. Therefore, we've arrived here to work on that, and we discuss how would be possibly be provided by the two countries, and we've already talked about that. And I wish to express following a short meeting that both of us are happy about it, and both are determined to work in reaching and pursue what we are looking for and longing for the interests of the two countries. Always we say that the relationship between Egypt and Turkey
غموض في العلاقات.
and were struck despite
مصر لها
the
دور عظيم
frozen
في عدة قضايا
type
منها
of
القضية
Egypt
الفلسطينية
has a great role of several issues on top of which
وهذا ما
the
أود أن أعبر عنه
Palestinian
قادما.
cause, and this what we are going to express about it.
وأثناء تقوية العلاقات ما بين
During
الدولتين
strengthening the relationship between the countries, two countries should look and what are the benefits of the two peoples and in achieving stability and prosperity, and therefore that is the strength in the bilateral relations have a great impact upon the two peoples and our region, and hence from now on and then we will take positive steps in pursuit to achieve as such.
وبكل طرف على كل طرف بعض الإجراءات
Each
التي سيقوم
side
ساعيا إلى تأديتها.
would have specific measurement to do so. In this time we'll discuss what should each country should deliver and provide, therefore consultations and engagements between the two sides are required, and we'll also pursue to do this through meetings on one table on the ministerial levels, on the levels of institutions, ministries, and our cooperation will be on the sphere of our region, and surely you've already talked about that. We've discussed some issues related to Syria, Iraq, and Iran, borders, in particular issues in Somalia. Our meeting was about all the said issues. All relations, or all types of relations should be improved in the levels of the parliaments, trading field, and we wish certainly that to be restored and benefit both countries, and I would like to mention that there are strong investments between the two countries are in place, and we would like to urge all the companies in Turkey to increase and double the size of investment in your country. I'd like to express this as our issue that in urging such cooperation to double their investments in Egypt. If the meeting was on the ministerial levels, I would like to assure you, and there will be another cooperation between the two sides regarding the other relevant institutions in order to achieve more collaboration. And the biggest exportation of Egypt is to Turkey, and I would like to express our gratitude for that. Egypt has a big investment in Turkey, which is a point that should be highlighted, and we hope to strengthen and increase in the size of such a collaboration, as well as strengthen the bonds between the two countries. The relationship between the two countries should be developed, and also would like to urge the tourism sectors.
عدد السياح الذين يأتون إلى مصر
Number
وعدد
of
السياح الذين
tourists
يأتون من مصر إلى
going to
تركيا لابد
Egypt and vice
أن
versa should be increased.
وأتمنى إن شاء
And
الله
I
أن
hope,
تزيد
God willing,
وتنمو العلاقات
that
مرة أخرى.
relations to be increasing and developed once again, and we wish once again to open a branch of the Turkish Cultural Center in Alexandria as it was before,
حتى أن نفعل كل ما
in order
تحدثنا عنه. لابد
to
أن نعمل سويا
do
وبشكل
what
جاد في
we've
الأيام
tackled. We
المقبلة
should work together and seriously in the
بمنتهى
upcoming
المحبة حتى يحدث هذا.
days, and to do so, and I thank His Excellency Mr. Foreign Minister Mr. Sameh Shoukry once again for his
دائما عن سعيه لتقوية
all
هذه العلاقات باستمرار.
expression in pursuit of strengthening such relations. And I would like to promise him that we're going to work on that, and I thank you once again for your good hospitality.
وكما قلت
As you've said, our meeting aimed at how to develop relationship between the two countries, and we wish to have more meetings diplomatically and politically. Thank you very much.
والجهة التي يعمل بها. أستاذ أحمد جمعة تفضل.
شكرا جزيلا يا فندم. أحمد جمعة من
Ahmed Goma from Al Mawqa in the 7th day in Egypt. My question for Mr. Foreign Minister Maverick Shulu, we are noticing a development in the normalizing the bilateral relations between Egypt and Turkey. What is the Turkish vision to the upcoming steps in the path of restoring relationships between the two countries, and what are expected steps in the upcoming period, as well as to escalate such steps? Thank you.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Aslında kardeşim
Thank
Semih
you
Şükrü hem de ben
for your
أحب أن
question.
أعبر
I'd
أن
like to express
محادثتنا
that
كانت
our talks
بيني
were between me and Mr. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, and we've already discussed how to develop such relation and which field in to invest our pursuits.
ونود أن أعبر أيضا
And we also wish
أننا
to
قد بحثنا في تنمية قطاع
express
الطاقة ما
and
بين
develop
دولتينا
the energy sectors between the two countries, the strengthening trade
وفتح
field, as well as opening paths and
كما كانت
diplomatic talks as it was before. We've already consulted
الموجودة
the
في
existed issues in the
كانت
region.
مشاورتنا حول
Our
قضايا
consultations
أساسية
were about
التي
the
تخص
political
المنطقة
issues and relevant regions.
لقد عاشت العلاقات ما بين
Relationships
دولتينا
between the two countries have lived a period of frozen situations, and that's why we are here to strengthen and restore into its strong path of the relationship between the two countries.
وسيكون إن شاء الله
God
3
willing,
تطبيقات عسكرية ما بين
we'll be having military talks between the two countries,
سيكون تقوية وإعادة العلاقات
strengthening
من السياسة حتى قطاع التعليم
starting from politics, going
وسنسعى
to
دائما وسويا
education, and we're both going to pursue
الإجراءات نحو هذا المسار.
to push the path as such, and we thank you once again. And I wish also to say that the most important thing that we should have a will and
سياسي
a political will and determination,
هناك لقاءات وراء
and
بعضها البعض
I wish to say that we'll be having successive meetings, and I would like to express
الوزير
my happiness to what Mr. Shoukry have said and promised. Thank you. A question to TRT TV in Turkey.
TRT Haber. Efendim benim sorum Sayın Bakan Şükri'ye olacak. Öncelikle ev sahipliğiniz için çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
There was my question for Mr. Sameh Shoukry, Mr. Foreign Minister of Egypt. In this time, there will be have an invitation in the upcoming times to the Turkish businessmen. And following that, what are the steps that Egypt may take in strengthening the relationships? And thank you. Certainly, as His Excellency Mr. Foreign Minister have said, as we've talked, there is a desire in developing relationships and restoring it on all levels and arenas, political and economic. And of course, despite the previous nature of our relationship, he was very keen that there shouldn't be affected the economic relationships between the two countries, that such relations have developed and that the trade in exchange has increased to $8.9 billion, as well as the Turkish investment have reached to $2.5 billion recently, as well as the presence of the businessmen and the Turkish industries on the Egyptian land took a lot of concern to benefit both countries economically, with respect to the labor, the manpower of Turkey in Egypt. So therefore, there were a concern of the Turkish corporations to have their business in the Egyptian lands and to continue such relations and the production of different goods in the field of the trade and exchange. We are working and certainly imagine with restoring the relationships and gaining its impetus and strengths would lead to more concern of the bilateral businessmen, the mutual businessmen that lead in a meeting of Mr. Premier to listen to the Turkish businessmen and to explore their opinions about obstacles that they may face to work and sort them out, and will continue in the framework of activating the mechanism, whether in the councils, on the level of the businessmen council and the relevant entities in the trade chambers, in order to explore new fields that would benefit the two countries mutually. Egypt has plans to continue of attracting investment and facilitating and removing all the obstacles and in financing the incentives measurement and the provision, the old potentials and abilities for them in order for the Turkish businessmen get benefits of all fields are open in a framework of such a mutual will in developing relationships and restoring its impetus, and we view in such a communication in different fields such as the businessman sector, it will be a good chance of developing the relations between the two countries. Another question Thank you. My question for both Mr. Foreign Minister, we've noticed is that you've tackled insertion some of the regional and international causes. Can we cast more light of such a cooperation, and what is the opportunity of rapprochement with regard? As said by Mr. Foreign Minister, we've already tackled the regional issues related to the Palestinian cause, situations in Syria and Iraq, and the last agreement in normalizing relationships between Iran and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and working on confronting the mutual challenges such as terrorism, achieving stability in general, and the mutual ability of the two countries, given the fact their potentials and resources in contributing positively in reaching solutions of the existing issues. And certainly you've already tackled the Ukrainian-Russian crisis and its repercussions economically and politically on the international level. As I said before, we had in-depth talks. Each side proposed their views relevantly, and how to overcome the mutual hinders in achieving the stability in the region and confronting the challenges as a whole. I thank you for your question. As Mr. Samah had expressed, we are in the facing and evaluating such a relationship. We've already tackled the Palestinian cause. The holy month of Ramadan is approaching, and then followed by the feast. And we pursue not to see or witness any turbulences in the Palestine and the Aqsa Mosque. We've already discussed this issue, and we've promised to be in one hand and united and strengthening the pursuit in working such. Also, we've already talked about removing all hinders and obstacles. That was during Mr. Samah Shoukry's visit to Turkey. We've already paid a good attention to such an issue, and we remind everybody that's in a very critical issues, and we've already talked about the Ukrainian-Russian issue and what countries may provide. We've already tackled and their pursuit. And we wish to say that the impact of such a war have affected both countries. And I would like to express that a crisis would create a nuclear crisis. Therefore, we are in pursuit in a firm affirming about making a deal, and God willing, other pursuits will be taken. We've already talked, as we've said before, the Iraqi and Syrian problems. We've already tackled the consultation in order to confront terrorism in Syria. We've agreed upon that it is in a very critical point. The bilateral evaluation of the relations had also a place of consultation.
سؤالي للسيادة
My question for Mr. Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu,
عن التمثيل
you've already talked about the diplomatic representation
ما بين الولايات
between the two countries. There was a meeting in Qatar between the two President, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and President Erdogan. Yet I'm asking about the official meetings between the two presidents. We've talked, we both ministers talked about the coordination of convene a meeting. From the other hand, we've already talked about exchanging visits on the level of intelligence, and we consider that today it's a beginning, and we've already talked about how could we exert in the future, and we are in pursuit to coordinate visiting Mr. President. Could be prior or after elections, we'll be having an expected meeting between the two presidents, Mr. al-Sisi and Mr. Erdogan. Of course, we are responsible for paving the way for such a meeting, and certainly to open a relationships after 9 years frozen relations, and should get welcome. If you allow me at the end of the prayer, I would like to extend the congratulations for Mr. Foreign Minister on the occasion of approaching the holy months of Ramadan, as well as the media personnel, journalists, and we hope to have a very joyful and peaceful months for you and for your families, and to enjoy the cultural bonds with exchanges through decades. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very much.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum.
Thank you.
Her şeyden önce bir kere daha
نشكركم جدا.
için teşekkür ederim.
Thank you very much. And before everything, I'd like to express my gratitude and happiness for your good reception and hospitality. And I wish to congratulate the both countries and peoples on the occasion of approaching the holy months of Ramadan to achieve peace and stability in the two countries.